Hi folks, welcome to your mwis Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. It's a wild weekend ahead with stormy conditions on the mountains, even to lower levels in northern Scotland Saturday night into Sunday. Some rain in the forecast as well. The outlook for the week ahead is fairly mixed, with high pressure having a go at building from the south from time to time, so some decent days in there. Temperatures will vary, near to freezing point at times on the highest tops, but nothing especially wintry in the outlook at this stage. Let's just start off by giving you a feel for the wind speeds through this weekend. This is one of our technical forecast charts that corresponds to the wind speeds on the higher mountains of Britain, and we've got the wind values already at dawn on Saturday morning, 50-60 miles per hour on western coastal mountains in Scotland. That will soon strengthen inland as well, where the Ben Nevis Plateau, Cairngorms could well be 70-80 miles per hour for periods through Saturday daytime. Those strengthening winds will also turn up across the tops of the Lake District and the Pennines and into Snowdonia, 50-60 miles per hour or more for periods through the afternoon. As we head onwards overnight Saturday into Sunday, the very strongest winds come through across northern Scotland, where across the mountains extensively 70-80 miles per hour are to be expected over the Highlands overnight, and gusts could easily get to 60 or even locally 70 miles per hour to low elevations around some northern coastal areas in Scotland. Across the higher mountain tops, wouldn't be surprised early on Sunday, particularly around the Cairngorms, to see wind gust getting over 100 miles per hour. Nothing too out of the ordinary for a windy spell in the wintertime, but just really highlighting the severity of the conditions across the mountains as we start Sunday. Those severe gales, stormy winds will stay around across many of the hills and mountains of Britain throughout Sunday daytime, easing down a little bit, but around the Cairngorms will stay very stormy right the way through the day. Least of the winds across Wales, where we might be below 30 miles per hour at times, but for the Pennines, the Lake District, much of the day in excess of 40 or 50 miles per hour, and gusts stronger than that. Looking at temperatures as we go through the next few days, this is on Saturday. We're in a warm sector at this stage, so temperatures are above freezing early in the day, but a cold front coming southwards through the afternoon will lower the freezing level across the Highlands to around 900-1,000 metres as we head to the back end of the afternoon. So showers that turn up there will be of snow across the Munros during the afternoon, and that chillier air stays around across much of Britain as we head onwards into Sunday. The highest tops in England and Wales just above freezing point, I suspect, but across the Highlands will be sub-zero on the higher Munros much of the day. The freezing level around 1,000 metres or rising a bit higher through the afternoon. The next warm front comes in from the Atlantic as we head into Sunday evening and night, so as we go towards dawn on Monday, temperatures will rise and it'll be back above freezing point heading into Monday daytime. Things will then fluctuate as various fronts come through. By the time we get into Tuesday, we might just be close to freezing point again on the very highest tops in Scotland, not really much below 1,300 metres, so it's only the Ben Nevis Plateau really that will get to freezing point. Back above freezing, I suspect, as we go into the middle of the week, but maybe just a lowering of temperature again from the northwest, periodically across the Highlands in the second half of the upcoming week. There's the synoptic chart for Saturday, a pretty textbook-looking weather system in many respects. As a warm front moves eastwards, a cold front follows, a spell of heavy rain then for the west of Scotland, that advancing south and eastwards with time. So drizzly conditions for western England and Wales will turn heavier into the afternoon. And the wind speeds, as we can gather from those isobars being close together, are gales from low levels upwards. Here's the sequence then, hour by hour. Wettest across western Scotland in the morning, some drizzly rain across western hills of England and Wales. That wetter weather turning up in southwest Scotland as we go through the middle of the day, and turning wetter for the Lake District by the time we reach the afternoon, and heavier rain advancing southwards and eastwards across England and Wales as the afternoon goes on, breaking up a little bit by the time we get into the evening. Showers follow then across western Scotland, those of snow across the Munros by this stage. Stays showery across the west and northern parts of the Highlands into the early hours of Sunday. Sunday is generally a brighter day for many respects. It's a few showers maybe coming in bands from the west at times, frequent in the wind across the northwest of Scotland, but many places, despite the wind, getting away with a largely dry day. There's Sunday's chart, then the cold front having moved southwards into France, the very windy conditions that we're left with across Britain, the severest of the winds across the Highlands, low pressure over the North Sea, really squeezing the isobars across Scotland through the day on Sunday. A ridge of high pressure then starts to build from the west with a lull in conditions by Sunday night and into early Monday, but the next fronts are trying to move in from the Atlantic further into Monday daytime. Now, one of the complications into the new week is a tropical storm that at the moment is hanging around the Azores, and the remnants of that will try and get drawn in our direction through Monday into Tuesday as that gets scooped up by the jet stream and absorbed into a frontal system. So that will need watching for some of the detail of wind and rain early in the new week. As we stand, Monday looks like this, with a warm front coming in from the west and that deteriorating conditions with lowering cloud and drizzly rain coming in, turning more persistent later for western Scotland. But ahead of that, across a good part of the eastern Highlands and a fair part of England and Wales, a dry and bright day, but just increasingly cloudy, and later in the day the cloud lowering further onto the hills. The lull in the winds will give way to strengthening southwesterlies up to gale force across the hills by the afternoon across many western regions. Temperatures then rising as that warmer air comes in behind the warm front. Now, pressure is relatively high, but a trailing front then is likely to be in play across the British Isles for Tuesday. The detail is very uncertain, but the idea, I suspect, of fairly cloudy conditions, some patchy rain and drizzle, mostly on western hills, may not amount to much elsewhere, with best of the highest cloud breaks towards more eastern regions. Strongest winds focused across Scotland could still be up to gale force across higher mountains through the day as southwesterlies. Remnants of front still in the story into Wednesday. High pressure toward the south. We've got a general southwesterly flow in charge. So some areas of rain, drizzle or a few showers for some. May be that some places get away with a generally drier day, best typically towards eastern regions. Mildest in the south, somewhat cooler towards the north. It does look as though fairly high pressure to the south will build a bit further northwards in the second half of the week, so a chance for some quieter, more benign conditions for a time. I wonder how long that lasts though, because low pressure over the Atlantic to the northwest of us is still nearby, and we may just go back to something coming in on a southwesterly flow heading through next weekend. But it looks as though there's a window of some drier, fairer conditions later in the week. Temperatures then maybe just on the milder side of average, with the wind flow coming from the southwest, above freezing then on most of the high tops. Plenty going on and plenty to monitor then in the next few days. That's all for today. That's your planning outlook in association with Ellis Brigham. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.